Hello, just a little bit of life update. I've been thinking of making this video since long, I think last 2 or 3 weeks. There have been people asking me why you've been not so active. Then there are people who have been asking how am I. There's some people who have unfollowed. Then there's some people don't even know where I am. So I've been getting a lot of messages, which even in my WhatsApp, even in Instagram, and I'm not able to answer any of those things because I just don't feel like answering them. So to start with, so why not being in the picture for quite some time? To start with, some health issues. So, and health issues in the sense that not feeling very well physically and mentally, still figuring it out what's happening. I know there's a lot going on, but I think maybe those things uh, about the physical health and the mental health. The other thing being super busy with work because there's some goals which I'm looking forward to achieve this year. And I know when you're focused on something, that's when you start to feel stressed inside out. And I think that's what is happening with me. And there's people who have come back and said that we've been calling you multiple times, we've messaging you. Can't you have the courtesy to reply? See, these when I really wanted to answer that question because a lot of people who've been trying to contact me on my business phone, on the personal phone, on Instagram, Facebook, which I'm not answering anything because, to be honest, I am not 100% well with my mental health because, in the sense that I just need really space, and I don't think I need to answer everyone because you know what's happening, and they think that oh, you're just trying to, think that even my own people are not able to kind of understand that what I'm going through, and I know that that happens with my own family. What's happening currently is like, why you being so aggressive? Why you being so quiet? Why is that you can't, properly communicate? See, when we talk about mental health, there are so many people who talk, they say that, oh, mental health, you should take care, then about women's mental health. Then they talk about, like today's International Women's Day, women's need kind of, attention or, special kind of treatment because they are not like men, so but when it comes to someone who is not answering or who's not replying to your messages something, and they just completely assume a different story, or you think you are something out of this world and that's why you're not replying. The kind of messages I get, particularly being in the service industry, so that's what I really wanted to talk about. Was like, the service industry, I've get like I can say three kinds of clients. One, very easy and simple. They just come, they just tell you what they require and what are the services, and they just agree to the price, whatever, or the service fees, what you say, and then they're happy with the outcome. No, whatever happens because they know that you're doing a service for them, and at the end of the day, what happens is that you just get a result. Is it good or bad? And then they know that how much effort we have put in because we definitely will tell them what we are doing each step we go through. Simple as that. Then you have the second kind of clients, who pay you, who negotiate to the maximum that they pay the less amount, and they make you do the more kind of service. So that's their goal is that pay less and get more. Okay, and that's where most of the time what happens is that even when as a migration advisor, you lodge the visa application, even before the lodging there's so many dramas, and then once it's lodged they come back every minute of the minute they need an update for the price they've paid. So they need every penny to be worth of it, that they make you do the work even until the visa officer is making a decision. They need to know what's happening with their application. But in a contract, it clearly says that you can only get the updates when you get an outcome, or when when there is a need for it, like a additional request, or and at times updates, we all are human being, we really want to know what's happening with our application. So that's another thing. Then comes the third category who don't want to pay but they need a service, and they need an immediate service. So those are the things which makes, which drains us, because sometimes you're very empathetic people. I'm very empathetic. If someone comes to me and I can't say no to them. Even on a Saturday, Sunday, people would be like messaging as if they have the every right to, even it's a weekend, if it's a public holiday, they have every right to disturb me, and they need an answer for it. They would not pay for it. They would not pay for any services, no consultation, nothing. They just ask you the questions, and you need to just kind of reply to their questions, and they need an immediate answer. If they don't, they would just go to the Google review, and then they would threaten to put the Google review there. And if they put a negative review, they'll put a 1 star, 2 star. They think it's going to, kind of um, hurt us in some way. It doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't hurt me at all, because the clients or the people who know me. So I keep my circle very small, in the sense when it comes to reference. When even my referral clients, I don't, they come and ask me. There are people who just walk in and they just take advice and they go. They won't even ask, how much do I have to pay for the consulting. But then there are other people who comes, they ask, can I, can we pay for the reference fee, can we pay for the time, because even I'm a professional who's working, my every hour is important, and my working times is such that I work around 12 to 13 hours. I mean, literally 12 to 13 hours. If I start a day morning, now you can see it's morning here. I am overseas and it's like almost 5 in the morning, and I've like, 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I start my day, and start my day with looking into the email, and that's where it starts. So anything which needs to be done immediately, I would do that first, and then I start off my day. So you can imagine people come back reminding, oh, we need to upload this is the deadline. See, it is my duty to do that. I know if it's missed, and if you're suffering out of it, then definitely it's my responsibility to look after that. But this, as I said, the third category people who demands more. And I last week, it's been really exhausting, because I was traveling. I was planned to travel overseas. I'm currently overseas, but still I'm working. So people, again, if anyone who has got your applications or someone who's my client, definitely I'm working. But it's a Sunday. I do have a privilege to take an off, I guess. I think I've come to that stage of my professional life where I'm like kind of uh, would taking up everything and what is required or more than required. And I think that stress have put me into a stressful situation, my physical and my mental health. And I know that it's not that I don't know. I'm People say, why don't you balance it? I am trying to balance, but okay, sorry, I just got distracted with someone coming in. Okay, so that's the thing what's happening, and I think I wanted, this is more like a rant for me now. I was like, okay, let me rant a little bit so that I feel it's better. Um, and I really wanted to tell people who's been reaching out to me that it's been too much for me, and I really need some time to figure out things. And I'm sorry if I'm not replying to your messages, because for me now, it's my priority is myself, my health. I am definitely going to get back to you whenever I can, and I hope you understand this. People watch my video, they just kind of swipe. Sometimes they don't reply to it. That's fine. It's all good. But there was something which I really needed to tell people, and it's an International Women's Day today, and I think I think this would be something which you can kind of give a woman, is just give her own time. Yes. Yeah. So it's International Women's Day, and I think that's what we can give at least a woman, that considering that she's got a lot of what people say about hormonal issues and all of the other issues where it's completely different to a man. I think give her some space, and don't judge her that because she's not replying to you, or she's not. Um, she's not replying to you doesn't mean that she's not a professional. Of course I am a professional, but as I said, I'm a human at the end of the day. I manage work, home, I manage my kid, and although my kid is old enough to look after herself, still I need to be with her. So those are the things. Even after that also, like, I know my own people misunderstand, thinking um, why I'm not replying to any of those people, even including, and that's what I'm saying, it's not just about the people whom I know, it's also about the people in my family. They also think the same. Being interrupted a little bit between people walking in and out of the house. Yeah, so people even in my family think the same. But sometimes you need to give priority to things what you need to give, and I think that's what I'm doing. And I think it's a bit of a rant where I just feel that, like, if I don't tell or communicate to people, people are going to think even worse things. I don't care what people think, but you need people at the end of the day. You need people. It's not that you don't need people. You need people, and sometimes not everyone is open about their feelings. Sometimes I'm not a person who would reach out to you and say that, sorry, I'm not well today. Unless if I'm telling you that I'm not well today, that means that I'm terrible. That's the worst thing. So most of the time I end up in hospitals, because I don't tell people, and I mean, like, my body completely kind of give up, and there are situations that happened previously, and that's where then my family get to know that, like, yeah, that's when my family get to know, okay, something's wrong with us. I think something similar is also happening with me now, because of the things what is going on in my life. There are certain things which I mean, I'm not even talking about. So it means that, I'm like, they can't see me, I think. So it means that, like, what do you say? The things that which I'm not talking about, and I don't want to talk about. Maybe sometimes I want to keep it very privately. Once I'm comfortable, I'm sure that I would share all of those things, because I feel that sharing certain things are important also, but keeping certain things to yourself is also important. And being the oldest sibling, I don't have I have a habit of keeping things to myself. I think that, as a young kid, I used to feel that, talking about my problems would be a worry for the family, and I think that they would worry more than me. And I think now I've seen, like, yesterday when I met my parents, I know the way they hugged me, and they were like, okay, so you're not well, so there's something wrong with you, so let's figure it out. I can see the worry in their eyes. So that's, I think, maybe I'm exaggerating and thinking too much, but I think those are the things which, makes us as a family also. So if you're a family, and I would totally understand if there's someone who would, not talk to me for some time, and then, they're asking for some time. Definitely, I would understand, but not necessary. Even I don't think if my sister or my brother, they are two individuals, or maybe their partners also different individuals. Sometimes they would feel that, why is she behaving like this? Why is her hormones like that? It's not their problem. That, my attitudes or anything towards them also should not affect. But sometimes, it happens, and I'm not saying that I'll be sorry about all of those things, because healing is a priority for me, and I think I'm not sorry about, healing myself. And I don't think I don't care if they don't understand, because if they understand, then I know that they are the closest of mine. If they don't understand, I can't do anything about it. And I think, keep them in a place where, we keep have a respectful relationship. I'm talking about everyone. So my family, friends, not talking about or picking up a particular person and talking about it, because I have had multiple people contact me, and I've been not responsive towards everyone. And yeah, people who understand have come back and asked what's wrong with you, and all of those things. But anyway, I do have a family. If I'm responding to you, you can definitely reach out to my husband. He is very much happy to answer everything, but I see that there are certain people who don't want to even contact him. So he's like, okay, so that means that it's not a priority for us. If they need, they'd come to me at least. So yeah. So that's all for today. And you can see the sky behind, how beautiful it is. And yeah, it's early in the morning, uh, and it's beautiful. It's already noisy here. You can hear the morning religious institutions start their own kind of things here, unlike Australia. Um, but yeah, these are also nostalgic for us. We grew up, I mean, I literally didn't grow up here. I didn't grow up here, but yeah, I mean, I grew up in the Middle East, so for me, it's a different thing. But still, yeah, I can relate to certain things during my um, yeah era of university when I did my when I did my bachelor's of dentistry and all of those things. Yeah, it is nostalgic. Yeah, and yeah, I'll be here for a few weeks, but still working, managing things, and looking forward to fulfill some goals in life. And you can see that as time goes, I will post stuff that which will convince people that I've been working on something. And yeah, that's it. So happy International Women's Day. I hope all women are happy about it. Yeah, that's another way of wishing happy International Women's Day. So see you. Bye bye.